The following program is powered by Ride the Wave Media.
Introducing the best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak. Here are your hosts, Just Blane and Becks.
Oh, yes, here we go. We are here. You guys hear that music? It's playing right now. Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Journey.
No, it's not Journey. It's just, whoa, wait, hey, whoa. I gotta have to pay for the rights to that, man. You gotta stop that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't have that kind of money. The budget.
Never believe anything.
The budget for this show is definitely not Journey type money. This is Radio Daybreak. I am Just Blane.
I'm Fresh King Benjamin.
Now look, we are at a different location right now.
That's right.
If you know what, free lunch to the first person that can tell us where we're at right now. That's what we would do.
Ooh, I like it. Ooh,
Carla says. Carla says. Now look. We got a couple of guests. So we're actually at the pre-stage here for our Daybreak Business Community Networking event. This is what we do every Wednesday, 1 p.m. to 2:30.
That's right.
We're at Harman's right now. Yep. We're going to be there for another month, right?
Another month. Yeah.
Did we check with Rachel? We got to check.
She's going to come up and join us here in just a little bit.
Beautiful. That's going to be awesome. If you need anything else from Radio Daybreak, it's at Radio Daybreak across the board, all the social media. Speaking of Daybreak, we got something big coming this weekend.
We do. I'm launching a comedy pop-up show at Biscott's Cafe up on Lake Avenue. It's going to be rad. We can only seat 69 people, and we've already sold 60 tickets.
Ooh, so there's 9 tickets left.
9 tickets left. 9 people get to come.
There's a couple people in here. We're
going to sell it out by the end of the day.
If we don't sell it out by the end of the day, that's going to be wild. I think it will. It'll go. It's going to go. You know what? If it sells out, maybe they just start buying tickets for the next one because there'll have to be another one.
If it sells out, which it's going to, I'm going to start doing weekly shows. So we're going to have comedy in Daybreak every week through the spring and summer. It's going to be rad.
All right. Are you going to give us a little teaser about what to expect?
About what to expect? Well, there's going to be some family-friendly nights.
Okay.
There's going to be some family-not-friendly nights.
Okay.
There will be in a whole range of comedy from the pure and innocent to the vulgar and offensive.
I love it. I love the vulgar and offensive.
Covers everyone's bases. Yeah, everyone gets covered.
Well, look, let's get out of here and get to our interview for today. We got to start our meeting here, the DBC. Don't forget about that. We've also got a field trip coming up Friday.
Yes,
R5 Homes. We're going to go down there and have a workshop for the DBC.
Yep.
Lots more announcements coming up for that. Sarah Ziroll is our guest. I don't know much about her, so I'm gonna have to look into her and see what it is.
She's awesome.
So let's go over to that interview.
All right.
All right, Becks, we're here with our special guest, Sarah Ziroll, birthmademindful.com. I started looking at this website, Sarah, and I love what I see. So I want to hear more, though, because we hear about a doula out there, but there's more to it in that. So tell us more about what you do in that realm for others to be.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be with you. And I want to share a little bit about Birth Made Mindful and how it came to be. It's a little bit of a combination of life coaching and birth coaching. I realized as I was preparing for my own labors and deliveries that there was so much that was required mentally, that there was no way that you could have a third party like your doctor or even your doula who could be in charge of a lot of the work that's necessary for a joyful birth. All of that I felt needed to come from within, from preparation, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And so I kind of used some elements of life coaching to then help mothers prepare for their labors.
Oh my goodness. I love that. And I mean, we talked a little bit about this, Sarah. You were one of our special guests on our International Women's Day podcast that we did earlier in the month. And I love what you said with that because not a lot in my experience of having 3 deliveries, 4 kids, because I have twins. Not a lot went into mindset and, being there for the mom. It's kind of like, okay, here we are. It's a medical procedure. Not a lot of that goes into mindset and strength. And I love that what you teach about that and how empowering that is.
Well, and that's exactly where I found a lack of resources. I was able to find, different providers who could offer a more physiological birth, or they could help you to, like maybe not have all of the interventions that might be offered if you're at a hospital. But what I wasn't finding was a lot of people who were teaching you how to prepare and how to get ready for birth yourself.
Yeah. What are some key aspects of mental and emotional preparation that you would say, for labor that you emphasize in your online courses or otherwise in your teachings?
A few of the elements that I love to teach families, one of them is facing your fears, recognizing that there are many unknowns when it comes to labor, and it's not inappropriate to have contingency plans, to know everything that there could be to know so that you feel prepared if an emergency happens or if something does not go according to plan.
It never goes according to plan, right?
That's exactly right. And in my first labor, I had studied hypnobirthing. I was ready to go, so crunchy, all granola, natural. And then I ended up having a C-section and I was completely unprepared. I received some really bad advice from one of my birth coaches, or I received some really bad advice from a course that I took in preparing for my first birth. And she said, don't even study about C-sections because you're not going to have one.
Oh, no.
Here I was. I had skipped that section of the book.
Right.
I didn't look at anything.
Oh, sure.
Right. And so here I was. And there was a moment in my delivery when I knew that it was going to be a C-section. And I had that thought, maybe I should have prepared a little bit more thoroughly. And so I think it is important for us to be educated as much as we can.
Yeah. I remember going through the process with my wife, and we just kind of read all the books and everything. And then, for the first one, nothing. Throw all that out the window. And then the second one, but when the second child came, it made it a lot easier for us to be able to say, be ready for anything. Don't just get ready for that. Don't get ready for that. Don't plan this. Plan it all. Basically, it was
Prepare.
I really wish we'd have had somebody like you to reel us back in and help us focus some of that. So I love some of the stuff you're saying here. This is a messy job though. Like honestly, it's there's a lot that goes into this. What made you want to do this for other mothers? Like why you?
Because I had researched so extensively in my own labors. So after my first C-section delivery, I knew that I wanted to try for a VBAC or a vaginal birth after cesarean, and was working really hard, listening to the podcast, reading the books, speaking with people who had experiences themselves. And I thought that my provider was supportive, but 3 days before my baby's birthday, she mentioned that she would not be able to support me in a vaginal birth, but could schedule my C-section.
Oh,
And because I had been studying so much, I knew that the provider worked for me. I knew that I had choices. I actually left her practice. I found a midwife. I delivered my baby in a birth center. But that also meant that I had some different obstacles that I was facing because I wasn't prepared to deliver unmedicated. I had to spend the next few days trying to prepare because now I didn't have a fallback. If I wanted any pain medication, we would have had to transfer back to the hospital who had just essentially dismissed me because of the mode of delivery that I was seeking. So in all of my experiences, I realized there are other people who do not feel empowered enough to make these decisions.
Yeah.
They would just say, "Oh, is that what my doctor's telling me? I'll go ahead and say yes."
Well, and for the listeners that maybe have not had babies, explain what a VBAC is and why that could have challenges, why your doctor just said, "Oh, I'm not doing this." If you would dive into that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the reasons that medical providers might be less supportive of a VBAC is because of the risks. a lot of times a provider will mention the risk of uterine rupture. So after you've had a C-section and you've been cut, there is what they say double the amount of risk that it would happen to you. Now, that risk is still minuscule in comparison, but because the research and the statistics show that it's doubled, and we're talking like from, you know, 0.8 to then 0.16 type of a doubling. But a lot of people will be concerned about that. One of the other things I try to really help people find when they are getting ready for labor and delivery is trying to separate the element of time. So we are in a world now where if you haven't delivered your baby by 40 weeks, there's something wrong. And that's not the case. I like to think about it as if you're running a marathon. There's 26.2 miles in that race. And if you're going to cross the finish line, you have to make it beyond 26.2 miles. So when you are delivering your baby, 40 weeks to me seems like the minimum amount of time that we should be expected to labor. And yet, because there's more elective inductions taking place, people expect you to have had your baby by 40 weeks.
That brings up a very good point, because there's complications associated with, you know, induction and giving birth before that little one and your body is ready.
So tell me, at Birth Made Mindful, what do you do as far as the process? I've seen coaching, I've seen courses, affirmation cards. Is that a thing you've got over there here?
Absolutely. We have these beautiful waterproof, you know, custom affirmation cards. We have them for birth, for motherhood, and for daily use. So anybody who might not be in the realm of having a baby these days can also participate, just to help encourage the positive self-talk that then affects our results. I really start to believe and to try to preach as much as possible that what we are creating first mentally will become the outcome that we will receive.
Love that. I love that. And that's it. You can book you at birthmademindful.com. It's on the screen right now if you're watching us. Birth Made Mindful. Our guest is Sarah Ziroll. Am I saying that right? I've always thought my it's a little bit different because I came from the South. I lived in LA for a decade, so you don't never know where I'm from. But I did.
My mother-in-law, she always says, "Not the bun, but the roll."
Oh, I like that.
I like that. So I hear you're an author too. I want to hear something about these kids' books you've got out there, and why did you write these? Like, what motivated you?
Yes. I'm in the process of working on 2 different books. One of them is the manuscript of Birth Made Mindful, diving deeper into what we talk about in the courses, really helping people to prepare for birth. And my tagline is to create the birth of your dreams, you know, really showing that you are in the driver's seat and that you can take certain actions to have a joyful birth and then be on the road to joyful motherhood and parenthood, fathers included. But I also have written some children's books with the help of my friend Molly. We realize that parents are so often reading to their kids, maybe even every night, that if there was some messages that could be given to the parents, it could be like a double-edged sword. It could kill 2 birds with one stone.
I love it. So hold on. So you're not published yet. Let's put it out there. Let's get you published. We're going to get you published. Well,
absolutely.
Before I say that though, can you read me an excerpt? You got something for us we can hear?
I would love to. So essentially the thought is we're sharing these positive messages to parents through children's stories, you know, having a parent and a child work together to overcome an obstacle, or helping us kind of like take a different stance on, you know, some of the elements that are really challenging for parents as we are going down this journey and this road of transformation. So this is one of the cute little stories in our pregnancy collection. So it says, Clara the caterpillar munched and munched. She was hungry. She was hungry for lunch. Why was she so ravenous? Change was underway. She would become a butterfly 2 weeks from today. From her chrysalis, she later emerged. Her transformation was complete. She had new curves. She had new colors. She had new wings. She had new long antenna things, but with all things new, she was unsure. To reshape made her feel insecure. She could flutter up high hundreds of feet. She could now sip nectar, a tasty treat. She could lay eggs and become a mother, a calling that was like no other. She was still getting used to her new frame. Would she love her new body the same? Then she saw a reflection so rare. Her reflection, she was beautiful beyond compare. Though her body changed, it was vital to know all bodies are meant to change and grow.
Oh,
You know what?
that got me teary.
I was right when I said we're going to get you published before I even have.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic.
Oh man.
Well, that's the road that we hope that might happen as we're putting it out into the universe. I've submitted to a couple of publishers, but of course, as everybody knows in that world, I haven't heard back.
I know some
Saying
publishers.
it's a long road, so we need the help of the universe.
Yes,
Publishers.
we've got Blane and I have got some connections.
Let me see what we can do, because I know some publishers. I'd love that book, and it's full circle for you. Why not write kids' books when you help? Bring them in.
Yeah,
I
so
love
this is
it.
just one of the little stories. We have about 20 that could either be published as a collection or independently. We're thinking just like the most adorable illustrations to go along. But this type of positivity that just really like it touches your heart, it makes you realize that there's a greater level of depth and grace that is required as women, as fathers are becoming
Mhm.
dads, like this whole
Oh, sure.
transformation is so deep that the resources and the support that's needed, we got to get it out there. That's really what it's all about.
Sarah, so wonderful to have you on the show. I want to wrap up with one last quick question. And what advice would you have for mothers in terms of preparation, accessing resources, finding community support, things like that?
Oh, thank you for that question. That's wonderful. I think the first thing that I would advise is to find real life friends, family members, communities that can help be your support system. Of course, we do offer courses online, but there's nothing like real life sisterhood and support to help you in this journey, letting you know that you're not alone in the situations that you're going through. I also think that it's important to, just like we were talking about with like planning and preparing ahead of time, knowing that certain things might come about. And when you need lactation support in the middle of the night and you have no idea who to call, if you have placed the La Leche League's phone number in your phone, you will be twice as prepared. You will be excited and ready to reach out for that support. And I've called them many times. Even my third baby, we needed support down that road. So it's not just a first-time motherhood experience of having challenges and needing support. But I also think that just kind of knowing what you're getting yourself into is also one of the realities.
Yeah, love that. And if they do want to reach you personally, again, go to your website at birthmademindful.com. It's right here on the screen. Blane threw that up for us. Thank you, Blane. Always a pleasure to speak with you, Sarah. You're
Yeah,
so informative. Thank you so much for coming on.
I'd love to talk to you again. I want to go more in depth on some of the stuff we heard, because I really
Yeah.
do. You're a great asset to mothers, and I think you could be a great asset to fathers too. I mean, there's a lot of us coming up. We want to know this kind of stuff. We want to be educated on this. 100 years ago, 50 years ago, they didn't care. It wasn't that they didn't care. It was just a different society. It was a different world. People looked different. Not anymore. We want to know this kind of stuff. Talk to the fathers, talk to the mothers, get us all involved. I'd love to talk to you more. Thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Come reach out to us, join our community on social media. We also have a scholarship program if people are willing and able to help us to provide these resources to others who are not financially able to do so. So that's on our website as well.
Oh, yeah. Great interview with Sarah Ziroll, birthmademindful.com.
You know a little more about her now.
I do. I didn't at first. I was like, hey, what is this? What is this? Now listen, one more time. Biscott's Cafe, Fresh King Benjamin hosting a DBK.
DBK.
What's that stand for?
It's Daybreak.
I love that.
It's
I love
Daybreak
that.
without the trademark.
And look, exactly. So we'll be there Friday night. We'll be there every week. We're gonna keep on with more events coming up. We're about to kick off this meeting again. catch you guys soon, right? At Radio Daybreak. And if you want tickets to the show, just
Just follow me on Instagram at Fresh King Benjamin.
There it is.
It'll be the best spot.
We'll see you guys. Thank you.
What?